we're on the part I've been working on this for a little bit, and we got the base coat on. This is like the third time that I've been filling and sanding, and it's a very tedious process. And I got the sides pretty good. I'm going to do fine sandpaper on the sides. I'm pretty much happy with the seam there. The top, it had a little more, it had a little bit of a pucker in the top, just a little bit where it was dipping down. So this is like my third time filling and sanding, and then what you do is you sand a little bit till you get it by feel with your hand where you think it's pretty good, and then you got to spray the paint on there, and then you get a better idea what it looks like. And then if you're not happy with it, then you got to do a little more filling and sanding. And this is the third time. It might take me 6 times to do it or so. Often I did the sides, actually more than 3, because I did the sides a couple times. This is my third time on the top. So once you get it to where you like the look of it, then you can continue. This gray is going to be the base coat. And I'm going to have, you can get a look at it. It's a nice kind of matte gray. And picked up a few things last week for this thing. And I got some brushes, some more brushes, detail brushes, because I was out of those. And I'm going to be doing a lot of detailing on the marker lights and door handles. And it's going to be like a nice model build, like a plastic model build. And then my original thought was gray, black, flat black, gray, and red, which I found a really cool metal flake red. I love Testors paint. If you're not using polycarbonate and you have an ABS body like this, Testors is awesome. It goes on really nice. I did my Lunchbox. For those of you who've seen my candy pink, it's actually pearl pink Lunchbox. It's all Testors paint. And I stumbled across this transparent blue. It's a candy blue, which is pretty freaking awesome, this color. So who knows? I might end up taking a turn and maybe doing a little bit of blue on this thing. We'll see what happens. So I know Josh likes blue too, because his Toyota's blue, his Midlife RC logo is blue. So I might end up incorporating. And I told him a little while back too that I was doing it red, gray, and black. I put a post red, gray, and black. But maybe I'll throw a loop in this. Maybe I'll go blue instead of the red and change it up so he doesn't, so he's got a little surprise there. So that's the update right now. Do a little more sanding, and I'm gonna put another coat, fine sandpaper, and then put another coat of the gray on there, nice heavy coat of that, and see what it looks like. So, all right, did all the dry sanding, and it's pretty darn close. I mean, you basically got to feel with your finger, and you got to get a feel for it. And pretty much, if you could feel it with your finger, you'll be able to see it through the paint. So, I mean, there's a slight variation I feel, but it's very close. I'm also mounting a roof rack. I'm going to do either 2 or 1 big roof rack up here for scale accessories, so that'll kind of sit up here too, so I don't have to get extremely crazy with the top. But I mean, this is, like I said, the third time on the top, and I think the side looks pretty good, and then I'll have some multiple coats. So this might be it. I'm going to see after I put the base coat, but I want to show you how tedious this is. So I dry sanded it, and then I wet sanded the whole van again. And basically what I'll have to do is go wash it again, dry it with the compressor, put another coat of the base on there. Now what I got here is I got a flat file that's real narrow, and the problem with the van is it has these ribs on the top. If this was all flat, it would be no big deal because you just sand it smooth and that's the end of it. But unfortunately, when you're putting the filler in, it fills in all the ribs too. So I have to basically go by hand in one direction. A file cuts in one direction only. Some people like to go back and forth like that, but a file only cuts in one direction. So I basically have to take this thing in there and keep running through the ribs until I get the result that I want. So that's what I'm doing now, is I'm going to clean out all the ribs and get the dip back in there like the van itself, because right now it's all full of filler. So that's what I'm doing now. I'll continue working on that, and then once I get it all gouged out, then I'll clean it, wash it again, dry it, and then put another coat of the base on there, and then I'll show you after I get that on there. All right, Rich back here. Been doing a lot of work on the midlife stretch van project, and what I am going to call this, since it started off as a lunchbox, and it's a lot bigger than a lunch box, I am going to call it the dinner box. That's what I'm going to call it from now on. So from now on, this will be referred to as the dinner box. So here is the dinner box project, and I am on the last phase of it. You can see it's really looking pretty good, but there's a couple more spots that I wanted to fill one more time. I was using a different gray base coat on here, and I wasn't happy with it. So I ended up sanding it all down again, complete. And basically, I'm going back one last time. I like this color a lot. This is going to be the base color, and then I'm going to be laying some different colors on there. But you can see there's a couple of spots right there where that seam, there's a little bit of body fill that was built up in a couple spots. So I am going to sand this down one more time. And I ran out of that paint, so I got to pick up another can of that this weekend. I'm going to sand it again, go over it with the final coat, and then we're going to call it good. So I want to do some special things on this. I got the windshield painted over here. I painted the inside of that black, so that'll show up nice and black. And I was looking, I'm ordering the Proline light bar for this. But what I wanted to do was, I wanted to put a rack on there too. And I was looking at the Proline racks, and I was thinking about getting one of those, looking at some different ones on Amazon. And what I ended up doing was, I'll show you over here on the drying rack here. I just got done painting. I sanded down the front bumper and the rear bumper, and what I got here is a custom roof rack that I made. So I built this roof rack, and you can see it, it's drying right now, it's still wet, it's going to be flat black, but you get the idea. And what I built it off was, I grabbed one of the, I was looking like, what could I make it out of, and I ended up using one of these parch trays. And what I did was I cut the top of it off all the way around, and then I shrunk it, narrowed it down, and then I sanded and sanded and sanded, and I tapered the front till I got it right. Then I brought it downstairs, and then I used the hand sandpaper and file and got it all nice. And then what I'm doing is I got some diamond plate sheeting here. It's actually sheeting that I got from a buddy of mine a while ago, and I was using it for some accents in Richie's room when I did it, and I got some sheeting left over. So what I'm doing is I'm cutting strips. After this dries, you see it flat black. And what's going to happen is I'm going to put these diamond plate strips inside the roof rack. And then what I'm going to do, which I've never done yet, is I saw some guys online doing it a while back, making some sleeping bags, coiling up some material with some zip ties and making a couple sleeping bags. So I'm going to stick a couple sleeping bags in there. And I think I'm going to order one of those Proline kits with the cooler and a couple other things to put in there. So there's the update now. And when I get the roof rack set here with the diamond plate pieces set in there, I'll set it up on the truck and give you a view. There she is, the handmade custom built roof rack for the dinner box. See how stretched out it is? What I did was I accented the inside silver. It's got the separate trays with the diamond plate inserts. So I think it turned out pretty cool. I can guarantee it's something that hasn't been done. I have not seen it out there. I think it looks cool. It gives it a cool look. I might do a little more accenting, paint accents on it, a little touch up or whatever, but I think it looks pretty cool. And then obviously what I'm going to do is I'm going to load it up with some scale accessories to go in there, but I think it turned out pretty cool. All right, working on some scale accessories here. Just finished up. I was coming up with some stuff, that I could make, and then I'm ordering a Proline kit to go on. I want the jerry can and couple shovels. There was a kit that I'm going to order, but it's the first crack I've taken at doing this. Actually, I wanted to do some of this for my deadbolt, and I just never got around to it. But I took some wire, had some wire rolled up, some extension cords. I mounted the rocker switch for the LEDs, which is going to be right there, and then we'll have stuff around it so you can it'll be able to reach his finger in there and flip the switch on. We'll have a couple other things here. Got a couple of sleeping bags, a couple stacks of firewood, made a little bucket with a handle. I got my extra axial helmet for my deadbolt, threw that in there, and then I got a couple of tarps in the back, so it looks pretty cool. So some inexpensive ways to put some scale accessories together. The wood was just my shims from when I did my indoor crawler course a while back. This is some old shirt material. This is some old jean material. This is a cap from my model glue, and then I used wire for the handle, and then, like I said, the extra helmet. So it looks pretty cool. It's coming together.